So, hey guys, it's been a while since I've done a tier list. I wanted to do it on Pokemon because the new Pokemon game comes out soon. I'm kind of excited for it. There's been lots of trailers going around. So yeah, I'm quite excited for the new Pokemon game. I'm gonna rank them via the order they release. So technically Pokedex order. I'll be doing first evolutions, and then second, then third, immediately. So we'll just get that out of the way. This is based on how useful I think they are, their looks. Yeah, and that's really it. In some of them, you'll hear personal biases and other people's biases. So, yeah, just remember, this is a biased tier list, my opinion. So, yeah. First off, we're going to put Bulbasaur, S tier. He is the most underrated starter of all time, okay? I see people saying, oh, Charmander, he's the best starter ever. Screw Charmander, he's so overrated. He's not useful in the first generation. He is only good against... He is only super effective against one of the gyms. And the first two gens, he's weak. He is perfectly fine late game, okay? Especially since he's super effective against whoever she is in the Pokemon League. But he is not useful anywhere else. On the other hand, Bulbasaur, super good early game, is weak to one of the gyms, which is, of course, or two of the gyms as well. But one of them, or sorry, both of them are late game when you would have types to counter it. Charmander, yes, you can catch per se a grass type Pokemon, but for the for the other two, but that Pokemon is gonna be weak. It's gonna be useless. You'll have Lapras by the time you make it to the fire gym, and that guy's great. Either way, I'm going to immediately rank Charmander in a B tier. I don't think he's bad, but I think he's super overrated, and I forgot to do Ivysaur. Ivysaur A, love the look of Ivysaur in the 2D art, not so much the 3D art. Venusaur, I'm also going to have to put A below Ivysaur. I think he looks kind of weird. Okay, either way, Charmander B tier. I think he's pretty meh. He's, you know, a good starter. He's got the stats and everything, but he's just so overrated. Game Freak abuses their use of Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. Like, Pokemon Sword out of nowhere at the end of the game. Yep, you get a Charmander. Yep, just because. And then you have to pay for the DLC to get Bulbasaur or Squirtle. And you have to choose. Okay, Charmeleon, here he is. I'm gonna put Charmeleon in C. I don't like the design. They swap from the color. Like, I understand Charizard, he gets the darker orange, but that's because he's the final evolution. And you can see it here as well, which I find irritating, except, of course, when you search up Ivysaur. You get, of course, this color. You search up Bulbasaur. You get, you know, a greenish. But you can also find him in the 3D version as a bluish. A light blue turning into a dark blue. And then you get Venusaur. And then, boom, you go to a dark blue. There's an evolution here, you know, where the blue slightly gets darker each time. You can see it. But then you come over to Charmeleon, and you get Charmander, bright orange, Charmeleon, red, and then Charizard, which is an orange. Charizard, I'm going to put him in B. behind Charmander, because he is more overrated than Charmander. He's useful, though. His typing is pretty good. Fire, flying. But if you wanted a flying type that has less weaknesses than Charizard, go for Dragonite. He's just so much cooler. And his evolution process is way cooler. Okay. Squirtle, I'm going to put in A tier. I like Squirtle. He's adorable. He's blue. And he has a proper color palette. Wartortle, I'm going to put in B. I don't actually like the look of Wartortle necessarily. He gets a tail and the ears, and that's perfectly fine. But I just wish, like Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, the color palette wasn't just so, sudden. But it's not like Charmeleon, where the color changes drastically, as the color for Blastoise is the exact same as Wartortle. So, yeah, why, Charmander? Why is your evolution line so dumb? Okay, I think we're going to continue doing the next gen, but grass, fire, water. I think that's how we're going to format it. Okay. Chikorita is another super underrated starter. Chikorita is kind of awesome. Really cool starter. I don't know why people look down on Chikorita so much. This one kind of sucks. D. The color palette change, like Charmeleon, is just so sudden, and then it goes back to a green, and it's just so weird. If it was a green, and then you had these leaf things, like a pinkish, and that thing there, like the yellowish, then it would make sense a lot more. And I love this one. The design is amazing. I'm not sure how useful Chikorita is in the game. This Gen 2 is going to be solely based off of looks, except for Cyndaquil and Totodile, because I've actually used them in the game. I've never used Chikorita. I've used Chikorita in other games, though. So, yeah, I don't know. That's what I'm going to have to rank it off of. I think I might actually put her above Blastoise. Okay, next we got Cyndaquil. S tier. He's our second S because he is so great. I love Cyndaquil so much, and I love his evolution line. This is a fire starter that I love so much, almost as much as my favorite gen, which you guys may know. So, either way, let's get into the next evolution, which is Quilava. Quilava gets an instant high A for me, above Squirtle. This is a perfect sorry, my bad. Perfect representation, excuse me, of a generation where the two of the evolution lines are perfect, because Cyndaquil then goes into Quilava, which is a slightly larger version of Cyndaquil, and then you got the ginormous explosion, and it's so cool. They're just awesome, okay? And there's no color palette changes. It's perfect, except for the Hisuian version, which I don't like. But we're not going to talk about the Hisuian versions of the generation, because that's just dumb. We're not going to talk about a lowland region Pokemon unless they are on the tier list. Okay, Totodile, easy A tier, right behind Squirtle. I love Totodile. His design, adorable. He's just an adorable crocodile. I'm gonna have to put this guy above Charmeleon, though. I don't like how he looks. He looks kind of ugly. No disrespect for him, though. I love him still. I love this generation's starters, honestly. And the last one, I don't know his name, nor do I know the second evolution's name, but yeah, A tier. I like a lot of the starters, and you're gonna see that I like a lot of them. Okay, so instantly our next S tier behind Cyndaquil, though, is Trico, who is a part of my favorite generation, Gen 3. The big guns for me. It's got perfect starters, an odd color palette on one of them specifically, but I don't mind it as much as the other ones, and I'll mention the reason later. Actually, there's 2 wrong color palettes, but I'll mention the reason later why I'm fine with it. Okay, so yeah, Trico's awesome. Grovyle, on the other hand, he, like Wartortle, isn't my favorite of the bunch. He definitely looks awesome, though. He gives off a kind of ninja vibe, and I think that's what Sceptile is going for, considering how he works in, like, Pokémon Tournament. Okay, then Sceptile goes above Typhlosion, which I got it wrong. I said Explosion. It's Typhlosion. Then you got Sceptile. Sceptile is so awesome. I love Sceptile. He's just such a cool upgrade to the starter. And again, Trico is a light green, then you get the dark green, but you stay the dark green, and that's awesome. Great. Okay, Torchic. You get the orangey, and Torchic goes below Trico. Again, these are my favorite starters. They'll all be in S tier, all 3 of them. Though I do like a decent amount more of the starters, just, yeah. They're just not as much as these 3. These 3 are not going to be beaten. These 4 are not going to be beaten. Except they might be by one thing. One thing. And we'll talk about that one later. Okay, so here's what I was mentioning about the odd color palette for one of them. He turns into, like, a yellowish. Again, not the greatest. Probably my least favorite of all of them. But if you look at the feet, the yellowish is very similar. And it starts to make a tiny bit of sense, but again, it's a very dark red, and it's a very big change. So I can't respect it as much as I would, of course, you would think for me being a Gen 3 lover. Either way, my favorite Pokemon in existence, Mudkip. Then you get Marshtomp. He has an odd colored palette too, because he suddenly turns into a more of a muddy blue. And then he turns into a very dark blue. Why is that? Well, I kind of actually like this color palette change. And their shiny change is also amazing. Pink, that is a good way to do it, honestly. Okay, continuing on through my favorite Pokemon, Mudkip, Marshtomp, and Swampert. We got Turtwig. I really like Turtwig. Turtwig is awesome. Turtwig is cool. This one I do not like, though. Similar to this one, I don't exactly like the shell, how it just randomly turns yellowish. It's just weird. This one I love so much. He is so cool. He goes up here with the rest of the big guys. He's awesome. He's just awesome. Okay, let's move on to Chimchar. Chimchar is pretty cool, but he is definitely not my favorite. I like Gen 4 a decent amount, but I'm sorry. This is our second week first evolution starter, and to unpopular opinions, Gen 1, 3, and 4 has their second evolution fire types here. Fire types, you really got to do something about your second evolutions. But this guy I just find so cool. He doesn't go up there though. He's definitely just above Chikorita. He doesn't beat these guys up here. Piplup is amazing. Another S tier. Definitely above Turtwig, though. Piplup's awesome. I love Piplup's evolution line. The color palette is correct, and he's actually useful in the games. Same thing with Turtwig. I'm not sure about Chimchar, but I think all 3 of the starters are relatively even there. We can go check right here. So you get Rock, good. Grass, and Water, good. Okay, Water, not good, but you'll have an Ice-type move by then. Fire would be good, and Grass would just be normal. You wouldn't have any flying type moves. Grass would be good here. Ice would be fine, and fire would be bad. Ghost, not great. Not great. Nobody does really too much. Steel, fire is super effective on it. That's it. Ice and grass is weak to it. Ice, fire, fire is super effective on it, and grass is weak to it. Electric water is weak to it. So, okay, I see. That is an odd gen. I'm gonna be honest. I'd say they're relatively equal, but you can say that about like the first gen because you have Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, none, Charmander, none, actually, yeah, none, Squirtle, and, yeah, and then, again, Bulbasaur and Squirtle. So, yeah, honestly, Fire has 2 gyms, Grass has 3, Grass has 3, as well as Water. Ooh. That's... yeah, okay. So, Charmander does suck for badge collecting. Huh. Okay. No one. The Fire type, Cyndaquil. No one. Cyndaquil. Okay, so Cyndaquil takes this one easily. So you got Mudkip. No one. Mudkip. Yeah, and then you got Trico here. And Trico here as well. Ooh, Mudkip takes the cake on that one too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue. Piplup. Pretty cool second evolution. Not that great though. I think I'm gonna put him behind Infernape. Empoleon is awesome. He is our third final evolution to show up on S. He's just so freaking awesome, okay? I love Empoleon. He's awesome. Oh yeah. So continuing on, we have Snivy. S tier. I think Snivy is super underrated. I think Gen 5 is honestly super underrated. I've seen a lot of people dislike Gen 5, and I find that so weird. Either way, second evolution, we have whatever that one's called, and the third evolution, going right up here above Blaziken. Yeah, I know. I actually really like this gen for all the Pokemon. The color palette is correct. It's perfect. It's just what I'm looking for. Honestly, I don't know why people have a problem with this gen. This gen is honestly really cool. Actually, a lot of the gens people really dislike, and for some odd reason, we only have the first 3 evolutions of Sword and Shield. I don't mind, because the second evolution of... actually, I'll get to it later. I'll get to that later. Okay, Tepig is awesome. Tepig is another one. I actually like Tepig over Turtwig. He's got the pig design right, and he's got the turtle design right, and it's just perfect. Honestly, I like it so much. Pignite, on the other hand, I don't like as much. I think Pignite goes in the B tier, though. He's definitely better than these crap down here. Charizard and Charmander are only here, guys, because they're overrated. Okay? I would put them in A, at best. Okay, Empoleon, or no, not that, Emboar, that's his name. Emboar is awesome, okay? Such a cool final evolution design. Awesome. Oshawott is my least favorite of the Gen 5 mini evolutions, but he is so awesome. Okay? Duwat, also A tier. Like, this is such a good gen, and people look down on it so badly. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's actually crazy to me. Okay? Samurott, though, is definitely a D tier. Final evolution-wise, it's such a weak one, because he goes from being, you know, a otter to being a seal? Or a walrus? I don't know. And it's just such a weird... It's such a weird change, you know? Okay. Gen 6. Gen 6 also has some great starters. Let's get into Chespin. Chespin is definitely, in my opinion, the weakest of the starters, but he's not weak by too much. He gets treatment like the other, like Squirtle and Totodile and him and Chikorita. He's a perfectly fine starter. I love the design. I'm not sure how useful. Again, we'll check useful. Grass, Fire, Water. Literally all Pokemon are good in this gym. Nothing fire, nothing grass and water, nothing fire, nothing. So fire. So fire is the best in Gen 5. Theoretically, speaking, if you're good at the video game. Alright, let's get to Gen 6 from the Unova League. Basic, so there's normal. You got poison, no one. Bug, fire, oh wait a minute. This is Gen 5 as well. Okay. This is Gen 6 here. Generation 6. Fire, water, grass, fire. Okay, fire dominates that one. Okay. I was just wondering. This guy here. This guy is awful. This guy's crap. What a bad design. I don't like his evolution. He just gets fat, and that's really it. He's like going for a squirrely chipmunk kind of vibe, but he just goes from adorable chipmunk to round ball who wants to kill you. It's crazy how the change happens. Okay. This one's called Chestnut, I think. This one's awful too. I don't like this one either. It's such a weird color palette change. They went from having a squirrel vibe to having just a random tree. And it's just so weird to me. I don't like that. Gen 6 has some good starters, but their final evolution on that one particular one, grass, ain't the greatest. Fennekin, easy S tier. Fennekin is awesome. I was waiting for a fox Pokemon, and they gave you a fox. And that, this one's Braixen. That's that one's name. Braixen is definitely above Chespin. And Delphox is awesome. She's in Pokkén Tournament, and that's awesome. Actually, I think they're all in Pokkén Tournament. I'm not actually sure this guy is, though. He might. I never used him, if so. Froakie. Instantly goes right under the trio, or the duo. Froakie is awesome. Frogadier is not. Greninja is awesome. Greninja goes in S tier above Froakie. Greninja's awesome. Okay. Rowlet, S tier. Love Rowlet. Tricks, whatever his name is. The other one. A tier. He's pretty cool. I like him. He's like a fancy bird, and it goes into the color change, which is this, which Decidui, or however you want to pronounce it. He's S tier, similar to Froakie and Piplup. The evolution is above because it's just such a cool evolution, man. It's awesome. Okay, Litten is also awesome. The small cat is not as awesome. And Big Cat is also not as awesome. Still love them a lot, though. Piplio, pretty bad. This one, actually perfectly fine. This one, yeah. It's not awful. The first one's pretty bad, though. I didn't like Piplio, whatever. Grookey is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with Grookey at all. Actually, probably bottom. Scorbunny, I don't mind you. You're pretty fine too. You're similar to Chimchar. I don't mind you at all. But you, on the other hand, I do. Okay, let's talk about second and third, as I don't have them on this tier list because this was made by someone else. But we'll talk about them. So you get Grookey's second evolution, which is let's just do Gen 8 starters. Gen 8 starters. So you got this one, which I would say goes above Grookey. I much prefer this one over. And then that one goes in F. That one sucks. Okay, these ones both go in A. I'm not sure where, but they are pretty nice. Okay, this one goes in F. This one, though, goes in A as well. This one's awesome. He went from Edgelord to Sniper, and it's awesome. Okay, either way. Yeah, that is the tier list. What the heck is this? Orange League? I have no clue. This must be from the anime or something. Either way, thank you all for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching this tier list. Bye. I just wanted to say sorry for not posting recently. I've been quite busy. Yeah, and we're very close to 500 videos. So excited.